I think most internet marketers have some story that goes like this. I'm making $1,000 a day, everything's great, I have the world figured out, and nothing can go wrong. Except something does go wrong, and it comes in the form of a Google manual penalty. All right, I have gotten one of those. I've actually gotten a few of those before I learned my lesson, but it's okay. We can recover from these things. At least we can keep moving on. So I'm going to tell you about the time I got a severe Google penalty and what happened and what I did. And I think that sort of shaped how I do outreach and how I view like link building and stuff like that at this point. I'm going to tell you about my worst day in Amazon affiliate marketing. My name is Doug Cunnington. I'm the founder of Niche Site Project. I talk about Amazon affiliate marketing, project management, and some productivity topics as well. Most of the time I tell you about good stories. I give you some case studies about what you can do to make a great site, earn some money online, something like that. I also like to tell stories where things didn't go right. You usually can learn a lot from things that didn't go right. So I'm going to tell you about one of the major mistakes that I made, and this was a few years ago. I'm going to tell you 5 things that I learned out of this experience. So like I said, this is a terrible experience that I had. It was my worst day in Amazon affiliate marketing. So let me tell you, let me set the scene, what was going on before I tell you the 5 things that I learned. This was back in 2014, so I was fairly new to the internet marketing game. I had been working on niche sites for about a year. I was working on 5 sites at one time, and I still had a corporate job. I was working as a project manager for a software company in the consulting division, and I was actually pretty busy with that job as well. I just made manager, and I was pretty much managing a team of 10 to 15 project managers, plus managing a couple projects on my own. So I was busy with my day job, and I was trying to run 5 sites at a time. This was a time when I was still using gray hat tactics. And if you're new to internet marketing or SEO, gray hat denotes tactics that Google doesn't like. They're against the terms of service. Basically, you're breaking the rules that Google has set up for their search engine algorithm. So usually this means you're using like Web 2.0 links. These are like blogs that you just set up to get links from. And then the other big thing is private blog networks. And these are sort of like fake blogs that you just set up to get links. It's all about links. And I was doing all these sort of uncool tactics that Google didn't like. The alternative is white hat tactics, and these are like guest posts and outreach and networking within your niche. Google is okay with that stuff, and that's what I do now. More on that later. But basically I had these 5 sites running, was working a full-time job, and I was trying to get these sites to rank. I actually worked on these 5 sites for several months. I was gonna say like April of 2014 up until about September. Now, if we fast forward to September, I remember my friend Rob Atkinson, who's been on this channel before. I've interviewed him a few times, so have a look at some of those videos if you want to check those out. He's quite successful now, but I remember he pinged me on Skype and let me know that he received an email from Google, like the WEBMASTER tools or Search Console team, and he got a manual penalty. All his sites were impacted, and his income went from a few thousand a month to 0 in one day. So it was a bad deal. I felt really bad for him. He actually was just about to move to Thailand. He had recently quit his job, and then this came out of nowhere. Spoiler alert, Rob came out okay. He was able to get his income up to about $4,000 a month in about 4 or 5 months or so, and then grow it from there. Like I said, he's doing quite well, and I'll put a couple links for more recent interviews so you could just sort of hear about his success and see some of the coaching that we went through to help get his portfolio together. Back to the story, I got an email later on that day, or it may have been the next day, same kind of penalty. It was around I think thin content and potentially some unnatural link building. But it impacted all the sites. The revenue was super low in general, so it wasn't a huge financial impact directly, but I had been working on the sites for a long time, and it was all my effort for about 5 months, and it was gone overnight. So these sites had gray hat backlinks. It was Web 2.0 links and PBNs, as I mentioned, the private blog networks. And essentially there was nothing I could do. They were slowly improving in rankings, but at that point, when we got the penalty in September 2014, we had a major issue. So here are the 5 things that I learned out of that terrible experience. Number 1, don't put all of your websites into Webmaster Tools, or what's called the Search Console. If you put all your sites into the same account, if one of them has an issue, most of the time Google will go through your account, because all the sites are right there together, and they will penalize each of them if there's anything weird going on. So don't put all your accounts in one area, or if something happens to one, you may have major issues and it will cascade and impact all of your sites. Number 2, I don't like to be at that level of risk where everything can basically fall apart overnight. So that's one of the reasons I shifted over from gray hat tactics to white hat tactics. And the thing is, a lot of other people did the same thing at the same time. Spencer Hawes at Niche Pursuits, he actually, I think one of his most popular blog posts ever was about how he says, Google, you win, and I'm not going to do any gray hat tactics anymore. Something to that effect. And it was featured in several different places and referenced. So, it was a huge amount of traffic on Spencer's site because he got several sites penalized. It was a huge financial impact for him. I didn't have a huge financial impact, but it hurt me just the same. I invested probably $10,000 on those sites over the course of the 5 months, and hundreds of hours, which is even more important than the money that I invested. So I didn't want to have that level of risk anymore. And number 3, closely related, if you break the rules, your risk is going to be higher. So we all knew that we were violating the Webmaster guidelines that Google provided for us, and we were trying to get around the rules. So we knew backlinks would help. We were trying to build backlinks in an unethical manner, and essentially it ended up biting us. Now, the thing is, it's just a higher risk level. So we were trying to do some things that seemed like maybe they were easier, and it made the risk higher. So again, I don't like risk. I don't want to break the rules. I kind of would prefer just taking a longer term approach and being patient. And number 4, I'm patient. I'm in it for the long haul. Like I said, at the time, I had a full-time job. I had other income, coming in, and I didn't need to rush. There was no reason to, try and take on these unethical tactics where, if I'm trying to rank in Google and I'm going to break the rules and trying to get around the rules, there's no reason to do that. It just takes a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more effort to do white hat backlinks. Some people say there's no additional effort to do white hat. It's just a different set of skills versus gray hat. So for me, I just realized I'm not in a rush. I'm in it for the long haul. So I need to play to my own strengths, which happen to be building systems and using templates and setting things up, building teams. So those are my strengths, and I really need to go, forward with those versus, not being patient, trying to use gray hat tactics. Number 5, and this is a big one. This is probably something you can apply, and I can apply to my life in general, not just internet marketing. If it's cheap or if it's easy, it's probably not going to work. It's probably not effective. If someone's claiming it's faster and it's cheaper and it's easy, I mean, if that was the case, everyone would do it. And in the case of SEO and internet marketing, if everyone does it, it becomes less effective, or it's just plain not going to work. And I see this sort of stuff all the time where a person with a strong marketing background is able to, convince people that they need a certain piece of software or a certain service or a tool or something like that, when in reality, it's just not needed. The person's just trying to make a buck. So the point is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So like I mentioned We all thought we were building private blog networks and doing Web 2.0 links and other sort of cheap, easier tactics. We thought we were taking a shortcut, but it turns out the risk was higher. And for a lot of us, we decided, you know what, it's not worthwhile. Now, the other part is there's a whole other set of link building tactics. I probably get this question asked, 3-4 times a week. Should I buy links from Fiverr? Or I know this person who will sell me links on their site for $25 and I get 10 links or something like that. It's not gonna work. Like, there's no way that's gonna work, because if it was that easy, if someone could just go to Fiverr, buy their links and outsource it, everyone would do it, and it would be so easy to just build a site. But it's not really that easy. Everything takes a little time, takes a little effort. So those are my 5 tips. Let me know if you were impacted in that September 2014 sort of penalty period. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you came back or what your deal was. And then, question of the day, do you like gray hat tactics or white hat tactics? Let us know in the comments below, and let us know why. I think we'll have some pretty good conversation on that. So thanks for watching. Again, I'm Doug Cunnington from Niche Site Project. And if you liked the video, check out some of the others. I have really cool teardowns on Amazon affiliate sites. So if you haven't seen an Amazon affiliate site before, there's like a whole playlist where I show you these sites, what I like, what I don't like, and just tear them down. So there's a ton of content around what real sites look like that are actually profitable. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.